Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope everybody out there is doing really well. Today it's time for another buying guide. Been a little bit since I've done one of these. The last one was Versace Eros, and today we are tackling Azzaro's Wanted line. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna run through each fragrance for you guys, let you know how they smell, let you know which fragrance would work best for what type of person or what type of situation, and also let you know which ones are my personal favorites out of the whole bunch. And I'll have each one of these linked in the description below in case you want to check them out. Azzaro Wanted is one of those lines that once they hit discounters, typically you can pick them up for a lot less than what they cost at retail. So let's jump into it and let's check out Azzaro's Wanted. And in case you're just getting into fragrances and for some reason you don't know what discounters are, basically boiled down into a very simple description. Discounters are websites that sell authentic fragrances at a discount. One of those discounters is jomashop.com. In case you shop there, use the code GENTS8, save yourself $8 over any order over 110. Other good ones are Fragrance Net and Fragrance Buy. Those are the two that I probably use the most. So if you're just getting into fragrances and you're seeing this guide because you're brand new, those are the ones you should probably check out. Now, I'm not gonna go over the full presentation with the boxes and everything like that. We're gonna concentrate on the fragrances here today. And we're gonna start off with the one that kicked off the whole line, Azzaro's Wanted. So this one came out in 2016, and actually at the time it was released, a lot of people thought it was kind of gimmicky and cheesy, and it didn't get a whole lot of love initially. Some people really didn't like the style of the presentation, this little revolver bottle style. Personally, I think it's kind of cool. You know, it splits the difference between being overly tacky and cheesy and neat. So I kind of dig it. This one opens up with lemon and ginger. So it's very fresh, it's bright, it's sweet. It does have a little bit of a synthetic feel to it. It has a bit of a similarity to Invictus from Paco Rabanne. And that's another one of the reasons that some people were hating on it when it first came out, is that similarity to Invictus. As it dries, you're gonna get juniper, cardamom, tonka, and vetiver as some of the other notes in the fragrance. And overall, it's a scent that's going to appeal more to younger guys, people that are looking for something that's gonna grab attention. It does have a lot of great uses, a lot of versatility. You can wear it casually, you can wear it out to a club, you can wear it to an office, you can do a lot of stuff with it. And I would say, even though it does have that similarity to Paco Rabanne's Invictus, actually between the two, I prefer Wanted. I think it's a little bit better, a little bit nicer, not quite as aggressively synthetically sweet. The freshness in here does have a little bit of a shower gel feel. Overall though, for the price point that you can pick this up for at discounters, it's a great choice. It is going to appeal more to younger guys, as I mentioned. People that are middle-aged and older, it may come across a little bit too youthful, a little bit too sweet. But I think overall it's nice. Is it my favorite of the line? No, it's not. There are other fragrances that I think are a lot better, and we're gonna get to those. So that one came out in 2016. The fragrance that came out afterward in 2018 was this one, Wanted by Night. And as far as my personal taste goes, I think Wanted by Night is a better fragrance than the original Wanted. I do also think though that Wanted by Night has more of a possibility to come across as divisive to some people than the original Wanted does. So if you're just trying to play it as safe as humanly possible, Wanted is going to be appreciated by more people than Wanted by Night if you're just talking your average everyday person. But the people that love Wanted by Night really love Wanted by Night. And the compliments that you'll pull with this are going to be more emphatic than the ones that you might pull from Azzaro Wanted, if that's important to you. So let's talk about the fragrance. Let's talk about why this is potentially more divisive than the original Wanted. This has a lot of cinnamon in the opening, and it has a lot of spices overall, much more so than the original Wanted. You got a little bit of citrus in Wanted by Night coming from mandarin orange, but not a ton of that. You also have woodiness here in Wanted by Night and some incense that's going to give you a bit of a smoky feel along with tobacco leaf. So this one is much warmer, much spicier. Again, a little bit of a smokiness to it. And I think it smells way sexier, more grown up, and much better put together than the original Wanted. So the reason this can come across a little bit more divisive is because some of the spiciness in here is from cumin. And cumin can be something that doesn't work for everybody. Thankfully, there's not an overload of it here. It's not overdosed with cumin, and I think it's actually not even really a big deal at all. But you do have some people that when they smell that, it reminds them of BO a little bit. And again, to be hyper clear here, I don't pick that up at all. I don't get that kind of vibe. I don't get that kind of feeling, but it's something to be aware of. The spiciness in here definitely ramped up, and that little bit of incense and cumin that you do have in Wanted by Night, it's not quite as safe as the really fresh and synthetically sweet Azzaro's Wanted. Wanted by Night, though, overall, in my opinion, much better than Wanted, and that's one of my absolute favorites in the line. I think for the price that goes for at discounters, it's a no-brainer, one of the best cheap fragrances currently on the market, period. After that came 2020's Wanted Tonic, and I think this is the worst of the whole bunch. Never really liked this very much. To be fair though, when I bought it at full retail. I think at full retail, it's a terrible buy. Frankly, I think it's one of the worst ways you could spend your money. Thankfully now at discounters, this runs for about $35, I think. It's more palatable at that price point, but it's still not really a good fragrance in my opinion. When you look at the note breakdown, it looks like it's tailor-made to be one of the most pleasing, refreshing, nice fragrances that you've ever smelled. Ginger, aquatic notes, lime, cardamom, all in the top and mid. Looks like it's gonna be really refreshing, kind of a tropical, fresh getaway scent. But ultimately, what you get here is something that just smells like a million other bargain bin fragrances, just kind of a throwaway, fresh, sporty scent. It doesn't really have anything that stands out. It doesn't have anything that grabs people's attention. It's the type of fragrance that if somebody smells it, they'll think, oh, it smells fine. It smells nice, it's clean, fresh. Nobody's going to be offended by it, but at the same time, nobody's going to remember it. And that's the problem. Because with most fragrances, you want them to have something memorable, both for you and the people smelling it on you. You don't want it to be the type of fragrance that's immediately forgettable, where you smell it and 5-10 minutes later, you don't remember at all what it smelled like because it's just whatever. It's just some bland nothingness that blends into the ether. That's what Wanted Tonic is. It's that type of scent. And just like you would want a movie or a song or a dish that you eat to be memorable, you know, to have something that makes it worth coming back to, you want that with your fragrance. This one doesn't have that. So ultimately what Wanted Tonic is just kind of a marine gym sport fragrance. It's fine, it's passable, it's not great. It's really not even good. So Wanted Tonic, I think you can pass. Unless you just want to collect the whole line or something like that, or if you think that maybe it's going to work for you much better than me, then you can check it out. But outside of that, I think it's not worthwhile. That takes us to 2021, which gave us the Most Wanted. Now, this is the original Most Wanted. The concentration here is Eau de Parfum Intense, not to be confused with the next fragrance, which is also the Most Wanted, but that's the Most Wanted Parfum. So the original Most Wanted comes in this bottle, all black from top to bottom. And with the Most Wanted, Azzaro went with a very basic note breakdown, which they carried over to their newest release as well. So in this one, you have cardamom in the top, toffee in the mid, and then in the base, vanilla and vetiver. That's the whole note breakdown. So this fragrance is gonna give you a bit of a similar feel to Stronger With You and the Stronger With You line from Emporio Armani. So if you're familiar with that line of fragrances, this is gonna remind you of how those come across, especially because of that toffee note in the mid here, which you pick up pretty much right away. This one is warm and gourmandy, has kind of an edible feeling to it. So when you smell it, you get that toffee, you get that vanilla, and it's very comforting and inviting, but at the same time, sexy. This fragrance, when I very first smelled it, when I very first got it in, I thought it smelled good, really pleasant, very pleasing. And I've talked about this before, but the similarities to some of the other fragrances on the market, again, Stronger With You and some of the other fragrances that are making use lately of caramel and toffee notes, made me think, I like it, but it's not as original as Wanted by Night. You know, it's kind of falling in line with these other fragrances, so I wasn't maybe sold on it being a hit. We'll say that much. Then I started wearing it, going out, meeting friends, stuff like that. And the feedback I got was insane. The Most Wanted is just some weird kind of elixir that when it hits the air, People just fall in love with it. It commands attention, big time compliment puller. It's a fragrance better suited for fall and winter time, a little bit more of an evening fragrance than a daytime fragrance. So in a lot of ways, the Most Wanted does compete with Wanted by Night in the sense of when you would wear them. I still think that overall Wanted by Night is a little bit more interesting smelling than the Most Wanted, but in terms of just mass appeal and versatility and ease of use and pulling compliments and all of that, the Most Wanted is king. People love it. Doesn't change massively from the opening into the dry down, so it stays pretty consistent overall. So when you spray it on, you pretty much know what you're in for. Sweet, spicy, warm, gourmandy. And that takes us on to the newest of the bunch, 2022's The Most Wanted Parfum. And I had similar feelings with this one as with the original The Most Wanted. When I first sprayed this on, I thought to myself, it's a bit redundant. You know, if you already own The Most Wanted, you don't really need The Most Wanted Parfum because it smells really similar. At least when you first smell The Most Wanted Parfum, that might be what you think. Because that's what I picked up on right away, the similarity between this one and this one. It seemed like, yeah, there's a little bit of a change, but is it enough to warrant purchasing both? I'm not sure. But really that similarity is most obvious when you first spray them on and then they start to differ and they go their own ways. And I definitely think it's not redundant to own both of these, especially if you're a fan of the line or of this style of scent. So when you look at the note breakdown here, they've simplified it even further. 3 notes, that's all you're getting. Red ginger in the top, woods in the mid. I think they call it incandescent woods, but maybe I'm misremembering that. Either way, woods in the mid, and then bourbon vanilla in the base. The Most Wanted Parfum has more of a woodiness to it than the original The Most Wanted, and it has a bit of a throwback to Wanted by Night because it has this little puff of smoke, this little touch of incense that reminds me of bits and pieces of Wanted by Night. So it's almost like you took a little bit from that and then you injected it into The Most Wanted. The Most Wanted Parfum also comes across a little bit richer, more refined, a little bit deeper than The Most Wanted. The bourbon vanilla in The Most Wanted Parfum is not quite as sweet as the toffee vanilla combination that you're gonna get in the original The Most Wanted. And so that makes The Most Wanted Parfum a little bit better than The Most Wanted in more sophisticated situations, more formal situations, and yet it still retains that mass appeal of The Most Wanted. So that compliment factor still has it. And the more I wear it, the more I like it, which happened with the first The Most Wanted. Both of these, The Most Wanted and The Most Wanted Parfum, these things grow on you. They become addictive. Like you just want to keep wearing it because they smell so pleasant, so nice, so easy to wear, and they get great feedback. So for me, I think they're both worth owning. I think they're both great releases. Now, in terms of performance, all of these fragrances outside of Wanted Tonic are really good. They all have above average longevity, above average projection, so there's nothing to worry about as far as that goes. Outside of, again, Wanted Tonic, this is the weakest of the bunch. It doesn't last as long as the other fragrances, but to be fair, that shouldn't really be expected because this is a much fresher fragrance than the other 4. Now, it's not really a surprise based off of how I've talked to you guys, but my favorites from the line, the ones that I think you really need to check out, are these. Wanted by Night, and then the 2 The Most Wanted releases. But those do all overlap. All of those fall and winter fragrances, all of those lean a little bit more toward nighttime use. As of right now, the cheapest one of those is Wanted by Night. It's not close, but the other 2 will eventually get cheaper over time at discounters, not at retail. Wanted Tonic is going to be the best one of the line for summer days. But like I said, there's really nothing special about it. And I would take Wanted over this and probably just spray a little bit less of the original Wanted instead of just getting Wanted Tonic. I think Wanted Tonic sucks. And as mentioned before, the original Wanted going to appeal a little bit more to younger guys up to probably middle age. Wanted Tonic, about anybody can wear that. It's just a standard sporty gym scent. Wanted by Night and the 2 The Most Wanted fragrances, I think really about anybody can pull those off. Wanted by Night, maybe if you're a young teen, maybe it wouldn't work for you. But outside that, I think just about anybody can wear those. So there we go, a rundown of the Wanted lineup. This fragrance line at discounters especially is an absolute steal outside of Tonic. Let me know in the comments below which of this line is your favorite, which one is your least favorite, and why. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later.